Hey there, I hope you hear me well. It is almost midnight where I am. And today, I am officially homeless. I ain't got a roof over my head. I ain't got money in my pockets. All I got is my rucksack and a good chunk of faith. So, what do I want to talk about with you today? I've not yet decided. I don't have a plan. Just like I don't have a plan for what I'm gonna do next when I'm finished recording this video. And just like I ain't had a plan when I chose homelessness, basically, when I knew I ain't got money in my pockets, I ain't got someone to sleep over at, etc, etc. I ain't got a plan, but I felt the impulse to talk to you, to put this out there, whatever that means, whatever you make it mean, or maybe do not. It's up to you. It's always up to us what we make things mean. That's one thing we often forget. What we often forget is that perspective is a choice. You can choose to look at things from this perspective, and then you can choose to look at things from that perspective, and that perspective, and that perspective, and that perspective, and that perspective, from many perspectives. Alright? So it's a choice, but we tend to forget, at least I do. I forget from time to time that it is a choice. Like that I'm not supposed to be confined to any single perspective. I get an impulse to tell you how come I entered the situation. The answer is basically the atmosphere where I used to live. It became too poisonous for my taste, and here I am. I am improvising this vid as I do any other, for real. I'm enjoying myself. I was actually trying to get some sleep on a bench at a park nearby, but I couldn't because it was too cold. right? So that's why I kept my ass moving, right? That's why I kept my ass moving, so I wouldn't freeze. And I'm enjoying myself now because I'm in the city center and the atmosphere here is good. It's almost midnight, and to be quite frank with you, I am a night creature, you know. I love it when it's dark. I love it when it's dark. I actually wake up. I start waking up when it's dark. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, it's nice in the city center here. The atmosphere is really conducive to my vibes. I'm really sitting here soaking it. You get it? Really sitting here soaking it. People are looking at me and I'm looking at people. It's nice. Cars are moving. And I'm not as cold because I kept my ass moving, innit? And I feel the impulse to talk about ego with you. Talk about ego. And particularly, I want to share how we can have different relationships with our egos. One relationship to have with one's ego is an unconscious relationship. That's basically the type of relationship to have with your ego, where your ego rules over you, where you are a slave to your ego. Another kind of relationship you may have with your ego is what I wish to call a conscious relationship with your ego. And that is basically when you use your ego as an instrument. You know, I believe you are all one. I really do. That's the deepest, utmost fundamental part of me that just knows it, that just is that oneness. So I'm speaking from experience. We're all one. Everything is one. But we as human beings, we are here having an individuated experience. Right? And what our ego is basically what I believe the ego's function to be is it's a vehicle or a medium that helps us have an individuated experience. We're all one fundamentally, but what our ego does is what our ego's function is, in my opinion, is to help us have an individuated experience, and that is basically to feel like individuals. So you can have a conscious relationship with your ego where you use it as an instrument, to navigate your individuated experience the best way, the most efficient way you want, right? And then you can have an unconscious relationship with your ego where you become a slave to all of its attributes. You become a slave to status. You become a slave to money. You become a slave to the image of yourself in the eyes of other people, right? That happens inevitably when you're unconscious of your ego, and the what exactly what sort of gave me the impulse to start talking about ego with you is these cars making these loud noises, which is they're not broken, which is they're not in a hurry and they don't have to hurry, but they're making these noises to the drivers, the guys behind the wheel. They're making these noises to appear cool or something, right? Yeah, listen to that. Most of these cars, like this is where, bro, I'm telling you, or sis, or whoever the fuck you are watching this, thank you for watching. Most of these cars, bro, are expensive cars, bro. And the cars here, at least in my country, in my city, in my particular experience, that tend to have the most ruthless drivers, they're usually expensive cars, bro. The regular cars, the mid cars, the less expensive cars. Yeah, that was an expensive car, right? It was. Just take my word for it. Yeah, the less expensive cars, they don't tend to do that, bro. They tend to be more respectful, right? And I want to discuss with you. Why does this happen? Why does this even happen in the first place? Well, The reason, in my opinion, is, you know, it's unconscious relationship with ego, bro. You know, it's really interesting, man. It's really interesting. Sometimes I'd be crossing the road, right? I'd be crossing the road, and yeah, you're cool, my guy. You're cool. We got that. Sometimes I'd be crossing the road, innit? Sometimes I'd be crossing the road, and them expensive cars, bro. Them expensive cars, them big cars, them expensive cars. Them corruption money cars. You know, they be driving really fast to like, you know, especially where there's no traffic lights. They be driving really fast to make you move faster. I noticed that they get a kick of that. They get a kick out of that, innit? That's what I noticed. I'm just talking my experience, man. I'm just talking my genuine experience, bro. You know, I swear. Just talking my experience. You can interpret this however you want. Just talking my experience. Alright. So yeah, I noticed that they get a kick out of that, bro. And you know, there's a teeny tiny pattern of, you know, when it comes to cars, ignoring traffic lights. Like there's red, and they just go regardless, which happens in some parts of the city, although it's more seldom in the city center. More often than not, those happen to be the expensive cars, bro. And how would you ask, like, what does this even have to do with ego and unconscious relationship with it? Well, let me tell you my opinion, cuz. Let me be real frank with you. The reason I think they do all of that, man, is cause they want to feel their importance, man. They want to feel their significance when they're behind the fucking wheel. And they see a pedestrian crossing the road, and they press gas for that motherfucker to start jumping, for that motherfucker to start running. That's like, bro, your life is in my hands, is how it feels for them, innit? So that makes them feel important, cuz. That makes them feel important. You know, and we all want to feel important, man. You know, I'm talking to you right now. You know, I'm shining my face at the camera. You know, I know a few people will watch this. I know that, yeah, you know, in this week, in the next 2 weeks, it will be at least 5 people watching this. I know this quite clearly, and that does give me a sense of importance. I'm gonna be honest with you. Another expensive car, bro. It does give me a sense of importance, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. And when I upload these videos, I do check how many people be watching. Bro, I got 2 subscribers, man. You know, the people that come across my videos, but sometimes they don't even know, like, what's cooking, like what this channel is about. This guy's a talking head. He just be talking things. And that's what I really do. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's exactly what I do, bro. I just talk things. But, you know, the swagger here, the the thing that makes it real special here. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I'm saying I'm one of the rare G's, bro. The thing that makes it really special is that this shit is real, you know, this shit is improvised and this shit is honest. It's the authenticity that makes it special. And every person being authentic is different, you know what I'm saying? The way I'm authentic and the way someone else is going to be authentic is different, right? Wow, it's got a lot quieter here, so I'm speaking quieter as well. Do you get it? This is what makes it special. Well, anyways, I hopped on a tangent. Where was I? Yeah. So it's importance, man. They feel important. I want to feel important. I don't know what you say, sis, or brother, or you know, whatever you identify as. I don't know what you're gonna say, but I bet that you do want to feel important too. I do. I admit it, bro. I admit it. I do want to feel important. And I'm you know, you are entitled to your own opinion, you know? You're entitled to your own opinion. I respect your thing. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure you want to feel important too. And, you know, the question I want to raise here is, you know, how do we get that sense of importance, bro? What I'm trying to say here, and this is my opinion, and this is what I do. I just start, and you know, I just press record, and I just say my opinion, bro. I start speaking what's on my mind. This is my opinion. What I want to express to you is the way in which we derive our sense of importance is very important. Did you get it? Now listen carefully, because I'm repeating this for you again, cuz the way in which we derive our sense of importance is very important. This is what I want to say. And my question to you, right? This is just food for thought. This is, you know, some provocation for self-reflection. My question for you is, bro, sis, whatever, how do you derive your sense of importance? That's the question number one. The question number two, yeah, it's a big one. It's a big call. The question number two is, having figured out how, in what way you derive your sense of importance as an individuated self, as an ego, having figured out the way you derive importance as self, feeling of significance. Do you want to keep deriving it the same way, or perhaps you want to shift that? Perhaps you want to derive a sense of significance another way. Now that's my question number two to you. That's what I wanted to ask, bro. How do I derive myself, my sense of significance? You know, the sense of significance as self. In what way do I derive that? It's a very good question. Whoever came up with that is a genius. Okay, let's be real with you here. I don't want to play pretend. You know, I'm being playful, right? And I'm being charismatic and this and that. But I want to be real with you too. You know, I want to be real with you first and foremost, guys. So, in what way do I derive my sense of significance as self? Fuck, I'm freezing. I'm starting to freeze, guys. I'm starting to freeze. Getting a bit windy here. In what way? How do I derive my sense of self-importance? That is through knowing and affirming that I am the oneness I'm talking about. That is from knowing that I am the source of creation, aka God, are one. God is the source of everything. And by definition, at least in my opinion. And as everything has emanated from Him, it is of Him. We're all one, and we're all God. And I know that I'm part of that oneness. It's how I derive my sense of significance as self. Or to put it shorter, self-worth. I'll keep my ass moving, because I'm starting to freeze. Wish me luck if you want to, but I'd prefer you wish me success instead. Alright? That's the deal. I love you.